Hey guys, today I'll be solving LeetCode number 206, reverse linked list. It should be a pretty small question. It starts off as easy, but it's not actually that easy if you're a beginner. And I would also suggest as a side note that you should definitely learn a little bit more about languages like C and C++. It makes linked lists a lot more easier, especially in C where you just do structs, and then usually your structs are essentially you could consider nodes and you have pointers to them. So you start learning a lot more about pointer movement, pointer offsetting, point pointer arithmetic and stuff like that. So it makes it a lot more easier, as I started off with Python myself and I found it pretty difficult at the start, especially questions like these. It didn't come intuitively, so I would suggest learning a little bit about pointers and then understanding the way how pointers work on linked lists. Usually we have pointers pointing to some part of the node, or we have slow and fast like I've explained in some of my previous videos. But it's essentially just learning how to use pointers to get what you want. Okay, so let's consider the example here. I've drawn out a smaller version of the example they've given, and the example that they've given, right, if I wrote it out the same way, it's a little it will leave people confused as to how we would essentially get from here to here. Actually, what you should be thinking about instead of this is think about trying to get the pointers to actually just go like this instead. It becomes a lot more easier to think about it now, right? Because if we wrote this out now, it would draw out the same. So 3, 2, 1, and now as is. But instead of thinking about reversing the whole linked list in your mind, just think about, okay, well, all we want to do is move the incoming into an outgoing, like the pointers itself. We have to just switch the direction of the pointers. Now, how do we do that, right? You could have 2 pointers on here, right? And you can have this one point to this one, and then you can move it one ahead, bring it here, bring this one ahead, and bring it here. The way I'm showing it right now is going to be a bit confusing, but let's just consider the code first, okay? So if you have previous, in this scenario, I'll move it to none, which will be outside of the list first, right? Because, well, if you see 1, the 1 itself also has something pointing to null, right? It has to. So there must be some node that must be outside. We'll just say null for now, that's completely fine. But we do have to make like a direction from here to here, right? Otherwise it would just be invalid. So we'll do that first. So pointer as none, previous as none, pointer as head. Then we will do a simple loop. So while pointer. Now, like I said, I'll draw it out again here to make it a bit more simpler. But we have this and this right now. So we have our previous to this and our pointer to this, right? While pointer. And like I said, we want an arrow going from here to here. How do we write that out? So we can write that out as pointer going to pointers next going to previous, right? I would do the same exact thing, but doing that, and by doing that, like just doing that itself is risky, because well, you have now essentially changed pointers next. So you did not store 2, and you've essentially just said, okay, just start pointing to this and cut this off. Well, you've lost 2 now, right? So what you have to do is actually just store it. So what we'll do is we'll store it first as well before we do anything. So we'll do pointers next stored somewhere, and then we will move our arrow there, and like I said, we will bring our previous arrow to where the pointer was now. I'll just call it previous for short because I'm writing previous everywhere, and PTR as well. Okay, so previous as that, and then the pointer, you have to move it forward, right? So we just use our next, and at the end, all we have to do is return previous. So if we visualize this, okay, we will visualize this with just these two, or let's do three. We'll do three. What we've done is we've done this, we've cut this out, we've done this, we've cut this out, we've done this, we've cut this out. At the end, your pointer will be pointing to this and your previous will be pointing to this. And as you can see, it's going this way, right? It's going in this direction. When we return the previous, it will return 3, 2, 1 now, in that order. And that's why returning previous works. Pointer right now would just be pointing at now because this is the next element. So that's why this code works. Learn about how pointer manipulation works. It's not easy, definitely takes a lot of practice.